Good afternoon, I'm Mike Carroll. I'm the Secretary of Transportation for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled today to be joined by Senator Casey, Congressman Boyle, Senator Dillon, and the Federal Highway Administrator Shaylin Batt. We have had wonderful cooperation between city officials, state officials, and our federal partners. I'll note that New Jersey and Delaware in particular, Maryland, have been quite helpful in making our lives a little bit better when it comes to managing traffic on I-95. As I indicated yesterday, the challenges are real. 160,000 vehicles a day on this section of the interstate. It obviously affected traffic this morning. I'm thankful for SEPTA's participation to help ameliorate some of the traffic concerns that we have. The ridership on SEPTA was up this morning. We expect it to be even better tomorrow as the remote work schedules result in more folks getting to the office on Tuesdays than on Mondays. The challenge for PennDOT and for the governor, and the governor was here yesterday, as you know, is to attack this problem in the most efficient way possible so that we can restore traffic movements on I-95. The PennDOT folks, in conjunction with our engineers, the contractors, and the consultants, we will have a demolition plan finalized today, and demolition of the southbound facility begun later today. The engineering and the inspection of the southbound bridge indicated it's compromised as a result of the fire. The I-beams aren't capable of supporting the traffic, and so that structure has to be removed, and it will be starting today. PennDOT's contractors will work 24/7 in an effort to try and speed up the solution set, and we continue to engineer the solution set that will come after the demolition is completed, and we expect that demolition to be completed in 4 or 5 days. And so we know the challenges are real. The Philadelphia Police Department in particular have been wonderfully helpful along with the state police in managing traffic movements this morning. Obviously a challenge for people to move around the city. We're sensitive to that. We'd ask people to have patience and consider the SEPTA option. And we look forward to a final resolution working with our contractors, the building trades folks here in the city. We have wonderfully talented people that can replace this facility and get it up and running again. And we look forward to that happening in the very near future. And I know that is the charge that I have from Governor Shapiro, and I intend to follow through on that to make sure that we minimize the longstanding impacts of this facility. So I'll turn it over to my good friend, Senator Casey, for a few remarks. Senator.
Thank you.
Sure.
Let me start by thanking Secretary Carroll for his work and the work at every level of government. Secretary Carroll, Governor Shapiro and his team, folks here in the city, Mayor Kenny and his administration, and at the federal level, the good work that's been done in these early hours by Highway Administrator Batt, who's here, as well as Secretary Buttigieg. I'm grateful that United States Representative Brendan Boyle is here, allowing us to get a briefing this morning on what we've seen already. Number one, we're concerned about making sure that we can do everything possible, and the state has taken great steps to do this, to complete the demolition and then get right into the rebuilding process. That process will occur soon, and they can make good progress. I'm grateful that every level of government is working together to make sure that we utilize every possible resource. I know that I and Senator Fetterman and our entire congressional delegation will be focused on getting those dollars that are going to be needed to make sure that I-95 is rebuilt, this part of it's rebuilt, so we can get traffic going again. I'm grateful for the cooperation so far, and that goes all the way through the General Assembly. Senator Dillon is here as well, and other members of the General Assembly who've made it possible for us to have this cooperative effort. I'm going to turn this microphone over to United States Representative Brendan Boyle.
Thank you, Bob. I want to thank all those great officials who are behind me. I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle. I represent right where we're standing here in Northeast Philadelphia, as well as about half of the city. First and foremost, I want to thank the state police. It is amazing, having looked at the site, having just had a briefing and looking at what it did look like yesterday morning. It is amazing that there weren't vehicular fatalities driving into what was then the gone part northbound of 95. Because of the quick work of the Pennsylvania State Police, that further tragedy was prevented, and we all owe them a great debt of gratitude. I also want to thank our firefighters and other emergency responders who responded so quickly. While this is an awful shock to see, and for those of us who live here, the next several months are going to be very challenging just getting around, we should recognize on the most basic human level, this could have been much, much worse in terms of loss of life. I was very busy on the phone most of yesterday. My first call was to the White House and then to the Transportation Secretary, who's a longtime friend. Spoke to many of the folks who are behind me as well. Senator Casey, State Senator Dillon, City Councilman Mike Driscoll. Spoke late last night. The highway administrator was good to speak to me as he was sitting in an airport waiting to fly here, and spoke to many others as well. Because look, it is my job as the representative here to make sure there are as many federal dollars as possible going to meet this challenge. This is a critical roadway, not just for Northeast Philadelphia, not just for Philadelphia or the Philadelphia region, for the entire mid-Atlantic. I-95 stretches from Maine to Miami. I dare you to find a more densely populated 40 or 50 mile area around 95 than right here where we're standing. So people are going to be impacted from New York City to well south of here. So getting this reconstructed as quickly and safely as possible is my highest priority. I do feel confident in talking to the White House yesterday and talking to the administrator and talking to many others that we're all on the same page at the federal, state, and local level, understand the importance of this project and to get this back up and running. So with that, I'll be happy to turn it over to Administrator Bott.
Sorry, thank you so much. I just want to say that as a Federal Highway Administrator and having served as a State DOT Secretary of Transportation in Delaware and in Colorado, we've seen a number of these events that have transpired, and I have to give a testament to Secretary Carroll and the PennDOT team, the City of Philadelphia, all the first responders, the federal delegation. This is just a really all hands on deck approach, and I'm here to ensure that folks know that President Biden has been briefed on this issue. Secretary Buttigieg and I spoke about this. I know that he is looking at opportunities to come and visit as well. The governor has been engaged, and I think the clear message from us is that any federal resources that are necessary will be made available, and we're here to be a good partner along with the state and local officials to ensure that this bridge gets reopened as quickly as possible for this critical artery. Thank you.
We'll open it up for questions if folks have questions.
About the commercial truck, and what can you tell us about the driver?
I have no comment on the driver. The medical examiner will have to make an announcement with respect to that. The trucking company, I'm not prepared to offer the exact name of the trucking company yet. Talk to the state police.
What is the realistic expectation for people of when this can bring?
We're going to begin demolition today, and once we have a final design, then I can answer the question in terms of the time it will take to replace the structure. We know it's important to get it replaced. We will do it as speedy as possible, but we don't have a final design yet. That's being worked on as we speak. We will have a demolition plan approved today, and demolition started today.
Secretary, you mentioned the medical examiner. Yesterday we heard from a few people no fatalities. Is that still?
I don't know that I said there were no fatalities. I will defer to the medical examiner for a comment on that.
What can you tell us about the circumstances leading up to the vehicle fire?
Yeah, from what we understand, the tractor and trailer was trying to navigate the curve, lost control of the vehicle, landed on its side, and ruptured the tank and ignited the fire.
So the crash started the fire.
No, the bridge was structurally sound, so it was a 10 or 12-year-old bridge. The bridge was just fine before the accident.
Congressman Boyle, you had said that maybe he picked up his load in Delaware and that he worked the midnight shift. That's what you said out there. You made those comments. Tell us what your reasoning is or what you know.
Yeah, so I'm repeating what I've been told and I believe has publicly been reported secondhand. I don't have direct firsthand knowledge in terms of the driver or what was going on. My role here, frankly, is to make sure the federal government is doing absolutely everything possible they can do to support the efforts here to get this rebuilt as soon as possible.
Is the crash considered in the same way that it was?
I'm sorry?
Do you expect it to be rebuilt in the same way that it was before, or are you looking at anything different?
We're looking at all the options. We want to pick the solution that provides the safest but quickest remedy.
Is the
Could
crash
that
considered
be
an accident?
fireproofing, some steel, some concrete in the design?
Fireproofing, well, the heat of the fire melted, so it was the fire, the heat of the fire is what caused the damage.
Were the girders made of steel and concrete, or just steel?
No, they're steel I-beams,
Okay, and are you considering the crash an accident?
yes.
Can Captain McShay please come up? Do you have any comment on what you know about the driver? Has the driver been in touch with his family, for example?
That information can't be released at this time. You know, we have received information, as brought up earlier, but until we confirm it, we can't release it.
Will we see a criminal investigation at all?
No, there'll be a crash investigation.
Have you had contact with the driver's family?
The driver has not been identified.
So you don't know who the driver is?
At this point, we can't confirm that at this moment.
Can you repeat the events that led up to the crash one more time for us?
All we know is that the vehicle was traveling I-95 northbound, exited at the Cotman Avenue off-ramp, and was negotiating the left-hand curve when the crash occurred.
Have you been in touch with the firm that owns this commercial truck?
We have.
Do they know who the driver is?
We have suspect. We suspect we know, but we cannot confirm anything at this time.
Can you name the company?
was going
No.
and where he was coming from, the driver?
We've been told that information, but we want to confirm it before we release it.
Was speed a factor in the crash?
We don't know at this time.
Did the company reach out to law enforcement?
They did. They were proactive with us, yes.
What has the company told you, at least, about what his goal was, where he was coming from, where he was going to? You could at least tell us that without identifying him.
Not until we confirm that. We don't want to put any false information out. We have been told they are giving up. They're being very forthright and give us information, but until we confirm everything, we're not going to release anything.
Do we know anything more about the actual product? We heard petroleum-based substance yesterday. What is this exactly? Is it fuel? Is it petroleum? What?
Gasoline.
Just pure gasoline.
I can't tell you the grade, but gasoline. Yes, it was whole in gasoline.
What about the report of this other vehicle being in the rubble? Can you tell us anything about that? Is there another vehicle involved here?
At this point, no other vehicle has been recovered.
No other vehicle.
At this point, no.
Have you removed the truck at this point?
Yes.
Was this truck carrying this gasoline? Was it carrying gasoline, or is this just gasoline that fuels its own truck?
No, this was carrying. It was a tanker truck.
How much?
8,500 gallons.
8,500.
So, Trooper, at this point, you can confirm one fatality.
I cannot, no.
Well, we're talking about a driver, right? It was in that accident. You can't confirm that.
Someone had to be driving the vehicle, but at this point, we can't confirm the status of that driver.
Will the ME give an announcement today on that?
I don't want to speak for the medical examiner's
Will
office.
you be giving an update either via email from your office about some of this information that you can't release yet?
Unsure at this time.
Okay.
What we're seeing there, that thing that's hanging up, that's not the truck, correct?
No, that's a portion of the northbound bridge.
Has the truck been removed from this site?
Yes.
Do you think
When
there's
did you realize that the south side had to come down? Was that something you realized today or last night?
No, yesterday. The bridge inspection was performed yesterday, sometime around noon, and the determination was made as a result of the bridge inspection that the bridge is compromised and it needs to be removed.
Do you expect that this will take long enough that you'll have to come up with some sort of formal detours for people to take through the rest of the summer into the fall?
I'm not prepared to say that. We're currently designing a solution set, and the parameters of that solution set remain undefined until we know what it's going to be.
You know, you hear drivers recall about how they're driving over the interstate and they felt the buckled road, they felt the divot in the road. Should the interstate have been shut off earlier?
I think the state police responded as soon as they knew there was an accident, and the emergency response, I'm not going to question.
You said it was a 12-year-old bridge. Wasn't this part of a repair project that was just completed a few years ago, about $212 million?
Yes, about 10 or 12 years ago, there's a project going on relative to I-95 that's being staged from my left, your right, but that bridge was constructed as part of a project 10 or 12 years ago.
Can you address these reports that there was human remains found at the crash site Monday, and there's a name, Nathaniel Moody?
I cannot. With
Family members and reports?
as the Secretary penned that, I'm not privy to any of that information. There's a medical examiner for the city, and I'll let the medical examiner officers make those announcements.
Can you just clarify one thing you said?
Last question.
160,000 people travel on this stretch of I-95 or I-95 to Pennsylvania?
No, on this portion of I-95, that's northbound and southbound traffic combined. Thank you all.
What do you expect the federal response to be? What does the state need?
We have a wonderful partner in the Federal Highway Administration. We expect that the Federal Highway Administration will provide the funding on an emergency basis. The governor signed today the emergency declaration for this disaster, and our federal partners will be there. Thank you all.
How much funding is available? How much federal funding?
As the last comment on this, any resources that the state of Pennsylvania needs and the city of Philadelphia needs will be made available by the federal government.
Is it the entirety of exits 30 to 32 that will remain closed in the interim?
Sorry,
Can we get your name, first and last name spelling?
Shailen Batt, SHAILEN BHATT, and Federal Highway Administrator. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you.